Hello, everyone. Matt Marcelissen here with Staywellbnb. Thank you so much for joining us to watch this overview video. Today, we are going to learn quite a bit about Staywell, what we have to offer, and how we can meet your goals as vacation rental property owners. To do this, we are going to touch on a variety of topics. First, we're going to start about the company history, my background, and how I may be able and qualified to help you earn more and stress less. We're then going to jump into Staywell B&B's key differentiators. This includes safety, security, and guest screening, listing optimization and design, revenue management and marketing, quality control, and guest reviews. We'll then jump into some frequently asked questions, and then we'll wrap up with next steps on how we can get the ball rolling on working together. So thank you so much again for being here. Let's dive in. Now, before we discuss Staywell B&B, I think it's important to step back and take a look at how I first got into real estate. Back in 2018, I had been in corporate HR for about 10 years. The real estate bug struck me pretty hard, and I decided to get into flipping. Flipping was great because I had a really good design eye. I was able to walk into the ugliest house, remodel it in my mind, and see that vision through to completion. After flipping some properties, I bought my first fourplex as a buy and hold. I moved into one unit, rented out the other three, and really saw the value in house hacking and having other people pay down your debt and other living expenses. In 2022, I continued to grow the portfolio and started my first short-term rentals. Short-term rentals really blew my mind because it combines my love of design, my love of hospitality, and I was stoked to see the increased return compared to long-term rentals. Today, I operate my own personal portfolio of 19 units spread amongst short-term rentals, long-term rentals, and medium-term rentals. In addition, I also have my broker's license in the state of Texas, and I am also a certified co-host with one of the largest masterminds in the country. These three things really combined to help me start Staywell B&B, where I'm able to take my past experience and leverage it to help homeowners create a property that works for them. Safety, security, and guest screening. Now, it is not lost on us that you are entrusting us with one of your largest assets, your home. Therefore, we take safety, security, and guest screening and turn it up a notch. First, let's talk about locks. We use the same Schlage Encode door lock on all of our properties. And what we like about it is it makes sure that only the right people have access to the home at the right time. The guest's access code is activated before their arrival and is terminated at checkout time on their checkout date. We also use this same process for all vendors, whether it's the cleaning team, the pool team, or pest control, making sure that no one has access to your house when they shouldn't. We also use the same ring cameras for all properties. We have one camera pointed over the door and another camera overlooking the driveway. These two cameras allow us to be able to monitor who accessed the home at any given point. The video, recorded 24/7, is reviewed twice daily, and the team has a discussion internally if we see something on the camera that we don't think we should have seen, and then we determine the best path forward. We also have the ability to monitor Wi-Fi and device count. Together with the Schlagen code, the Ring camera, and the Wi-Fi monitoring, we're able to have a pretty good idea who has access to the home at any given point. Next, let's talk about insurance. We carry a $1 million per property liability policy. Now, this is in addition to your homeowner's insurance, and you will need to tell your insurance that you are using your home as a short-term rental. So this is in addition to that. We also have a $10,000 per stay contents coverage. What we like about this insurance is that it doesn't make us rely on Airbnb and VRBO and for them to determine if something is worth paying out or not. It's a very easy process, and we typically don't have to involve the guest. Next, guest screening and guest agreement. We are very particular on who books your home, and we don't let anyone just book it. We have minimum age requirements, and we want to make sure that all guests have good standing on the preferred booking platform. We also make each guest sign a guest agreement. This guest agreement relieves you and us of any liability if something were to happen at the home. It also makes them agree that they will not have any parties, and they also agree to all rules that we stipulate in the guest agreement. And it really does a good job of protecting all parties. Lastly, we have recurring quality checks. We like to pop in from time to time behind the cleaning team just to make sure that the property is still up to our standards. And with these different points, it really drives home how important we take safety, security, and guest screening. Revenue management and marketing. Now, these may not be the coolest topics, but I am a little biased in saying that I think Staywellbnb does this much better than the competition. So stay with me. We offer a pre-listing design and an amenity study. Whether your property hasn't been listed yet or it's already listed with a property manager, we'll take a look at your property, the competition, the amenities offered, and come up with suggestions on how you can best maximize your revenue based on the goals for your property and also based on your budget. This is something that we offer free of charge to all clients, and it is a high value. Next, let's talk about dynamic pricing. So dynamic pricing matches the price of your home per night with the market. It takes a look at events, it takes a look at the competition, the time of year, and the projected occupancy. So for example, if someone is booking now in the winter for next summer, the software is going to suggest a longer minimum night and a higher nightly rate. If someone were to book that same weekend a week before arrival, the software is probably going to suggest a lower minimum night and a lower nightly rate to make sure that that booking happens at the right price at the right time. We also have a dedicated revenue manager. This person is looking at the pricing of your listing twice weekly, typically on Sunday and Monday nights. And their job is to make sure that we get booked at the correct price. So if they're looking at your property on a Wednesday and the upcoming weekend is not booked, they're going to adjust the pricing to make sure that we do capture that booking. Next, listing optimization and rank review. Listing optimization is a huge topic, and we have the in-house knowledge to make sure that your listing is optimized in a few different ways. Based on whether it's Airbnb, VRBO, or direct booking, we're going to make sure that your property stands out in its headline, its marketing copy, its photos. We're going to make sure that it is clickable. Next, we also use a software called RankBreeze. This software tells us what page on Airbnb your property falls on. And we found out that if your property falls on page 1 or 2 of Airbnb, it has a much higher chance of getting booked. And to do this, again, we're using our dynamic pricing, we're using our revenue manager, we're using our listing optimization, and we're looking at the booking funnel. How often does your property show up on the first page? How often are people clicking through all of the photos? And how often are people completing the transaction by actually clicking booked? These are all backed by software with different metrics, and we take a look at these metrics and we make sure that they fall in alignment with where they need to be to maximize your revenue. I would say that your property is being looked at from a listing standpoint and from a revenue standpoint 3 to 4 times a week by different pairs of eyes. And this is a stark contrast to other larger property managers who simply set it and forget it. Now, where is your property being marketed? Mostly on VRBO, Airbnb, Direct Booking, and Google Vacations. Now, Airbnb and VRBO do take up the majority of the bookings, and that's simply because they spend the most money on SEO to make sure that they drive customers to their websites. And we are a fan of that. You'll also get your own direct booking website, and you'll also show up on Google Vacation Rentals. We have targeted upsells, and this is a really neat feature as well. So we offer pool heat, early check-in, and discounted rates to get the guest really engaged on being able to book your property. Once a guest checks out, we also offer email and text marketing, and we found that this strategy puts us at a far higher occupancy than our competitors. With the correct pricing profile, with targeted email and marketing, we can easily beat the industry average for a given part of the country at a given time. We have been known to beat the average by 30 or 40%. Now, I know that was a lot of information. If you have more questions about our revenue management and marketing strategy, please feel free to reach out. Quality control and guest reviews. Now, generally speaking, the first year of operations for any home is going to be probably the lowest level of revenue, basically because it's not a proven commodity, there aren't any guest reviews, and there's no proven track record that this home is as amazing as we say it is. So we have a promise. Our promise is a memorable, enjoyable vacation for everyone. And with that promise, we do a few things that are unique to Staywell B&B. We have a pre-stay quality control check. Now, what this means is that a member of our team goes in behind the cleaners before every stay, and they have a checklist of about 50 items to make sure that the home is in as best of shape as it can be. This is important every time, but it's especially important if the home has sat for 3, 4 days, or even a week without a guest. Now, what does this person check? They're looking for things like scorpions if you're in the hill country, or cockroaches if you're in Houston. They're making sure that the propane tanks are full, that there are proper supplies, including trash bags and soaps. They're making sure that the pool is skimmed if it's an outdoor pool, that the fire pit is ready, and most importantly to me, that there's no hair anywhere on the beds. My biggest pet peeve. We find that this pre-stay quality control check is pivotal to making sure that the guest enjoys their stay. We start off our messaging with a thoughtful pre-stay message. This message is sent to the guest a week or so before they check in. It welcomes to the property, and we also send them a electronic guidebook. This guidebook is filled with information on how to use the home, but it also comes with helpful information like where to eat if you arrive to the area earlier than expected. This message is a signal to them, hey, your vacation's coming up, and hey, you're going to have a great time. We also have a after check-in message. This message is typically sent a day after the guest checks in after their first night. And we really ask them, hey, how did check-in go? And two, are there any issues? Now, 99% of the time, everything is going well. But that 1% of the time, it's not. And this message allows us to capture that. It creates that open dialogue for the guest to say, you know what? Actually, we did have this issue getting this amenity to work, and we would like your help. And this is where we can still make sure that we capture that 5-star review by responding quickly, fixing their issue, and showing them that they care and we want them and their family to have a great vacation. After a guest checks out, we also show them post-stay gratitude and we continue to communicate with them. After we verified that the home is in great condition from the cleaners, we'll send them a note and we'll say, thank you so much for being fantastic guests. We really appreciate how you took care of XYZ. Because of that, we are going to leave you a 5-star review, and we leave them a 5-star review first. This prompts them to then leave a 5-star review in return, and it's a great way to capture a mutual 5-star experience. And we found with this pre-stay quality control check-in and these thoughtful messagings that we're able to really provide a fantastic guest communication experience, but also build those 5-star reviews quickly to make sure that your home becomes a guest favorite, shows up on page one, and we can increase that revenue as soon as possible. Alrighty, it's time for some frequently asked questions. Number one, as an owner, how do I get paid? Owners are paid monthly, typically 5 to 10 days after the month ends, we will send the owner their owner's statement with an ACH transfer of their portion of the profits. The homeowner's statement includes things like gross booking revenue, fees paid, management fees, expenses, and then it ends with a net amount to the owner. And again, this is sent via ACH monthly. At the end of the year, we will send owners 1099, compiling all their earnings for the year. This means that when we engage together, we will send not only the contract, but also a W-9 to kick off this process. Next question. What is the process if something breaks in the home? Now, we outlined earlier in the video how we take great care of the personal items in your home, but occasionally things break. Typically, a guest lets us know. Sometimes it's the cleaners, and occasionally a member of our quality control team. When something breaks, we'll submit a claim with our third-party vendor, we'll submit the proof, we'll get reimbursed, and we'll go ahead and replace that item. If necessary, we'll have a handyman put it together or someone from our team. What are your fees? There are three fees that you need to be aware of. The first fee is our general management fee. This ranges from 20 to 30% and is based on a few factors. After our discovery call, we will have a chat about what the fee will be for your actual home. The second fee we have is a technology fee. This fee is $140 a month, and it includes things that are necessary to run your home in our ecosystem. It includes the property management system, the bookkeeper, the dynamic pricing software, and everything else that we need to make sure that your home has the highest revenue possible. Our third fee is our onboarding, our startup fee. This is typically around $2,000 and it includes necessary items like photography, the door lock, the smart thermostats, the minute noise detector system, and the things that we need to monitor your property. One thing to note about this is that the items that are bought during the onboarding process are yours to keep. The majority of this fee is typically the photography, and that includes not only the photography, but also the video and drone footage that really makes your property pop online. These are yours to keep if you end up selling the property or we part ways. Next, can I see the bookings and what type of reporting do you offer? Of course, you can see the bookings. You'll be able to see the bookings in your own homeowner's portal through Hospitable. You'll be able to see the ADR, the occupancy, when the home is booked, and what the gross booking amounts are, and all the different fees associated with that. How often can we use the home, and how do we communicate our stays? You can use your home as often as you wish. After all, it is your home. But we typically find that during high season, it's best if we are able to market and book your home over two-thirds of the time. So if we're talking about the Texas Hill Country, that's typically between Memorial Day and Labor Day. To book your home, you can either shoot us a message or use the online Hospitable portal to block off your stays. You can even signal if you'd like to self-clean or if you would like a member of our team to clean up after you, giving you that extra vacation-y feel. I already have property management. Why should I switch? Oh, this is a loaded question. You should switch because we are amazing. No, in all honesty, you may be listening to this video because you feel that something is not quite right with your property manager, or you feel that you could increase your revenue, or that you can find a property manager that better aligns with the goals that you have for your property. The best thing for you to do is to chat with a few and move forward with one that you think will meet your goals and the one that you'll work the best with. If that is not Staywell, then there are lots in the Hill Country and in the Houston region. I'm ready to switch property managers. How do I do that? That's quite easy. First, you're going to want to take a look at the contract that you sign with your current property manager. Typically, there is a 90-day notice period. You'll give your property manager their notice, and during that 90 days, we will work together to get your property ready to relaunch. That could include an amenity study, implementing new design, making sure that we have brand new photos and marketing copy, and then we'll be on to the races. So that 90 days really goes by quickly, and we use that time to make sure that we are ready to hit the ground running. What are the next steps for us to move forward? Well, that is a great question. We will cover that on the final slide. Next steps. So you've sat through this video presentation and learned quite a bit about Staywell and how we operate. If all of this sounds amazing to you and you want to get started, we should have a discovery call scheduled. If not, you may schedule one by visiting staywellbnb.com, emailing either property at staywellbnb.com, or email me, Matthew at staywellbnb.com. I love the discovery call because it's not about me and Staywell, it's about you. We get to learn about you, your property or properties, the goals that you have for it, and what you really want most out of your relationship with your property manager. This call lasts about 30 to 45 minutes, and it's our time to come up with a plan on how best we can serve you, the homeowner. After the discovery call, we'll send the contract with the W-9 for you to sign. We'll schedule our first site visit for our team. We'll implement any design or amenity enhancements, and then continue with our onboarding, which will include new photography and other odds and ends to integrate you into Staywell B&B. After that, we will go live and start having fun together. Again, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, and have a great one.